Hello, fellow tarot enthusiasts. I have a first impressions unboxing type video to do for the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. I first saw the artwork for this deck probably 3 years ago or so on the Eclectic forum. And I loved it, and I was very interested in it, but it was not, you couldn't get a self-published version. There was talk about there being a mass-produced version, but it wasn't as easy to follow. It's just been a few years ago, but this was before For the Love of Cards on Facebook. This was before I'd started, hanging out on YouTube, so I really didn't know what had happened to this deck. And imagine my surprise when I'm just flipping through Amazon looking at what it's recommending to me, and it recommends this to me. And I click on it and see what it is and go, oh gosh, that's that deck from 3 years ago that I thought was so cool. So here's my unboxing and first impressions. This is a Schiffer deck, their new imprint, Red Feather, for their Mind, Body, Spirit. I did take it out of the Amazon box and I busted the plastic to make it easier on me. Finding the magic in the midst of life. Profound wisdom is made accessible with this contemporary 78 card deck, an expansive guidebook which demystifies the traditional tarot without losing its essential magic or structure. So cool. Let's have a look. We do love Schiffer's packaging. Let's see. Oh, opens right up. Okay. And there's a little thing about Poppy in here. And on top we have the book. And the cards are in 2 piles. So let's have a really quick look at the book. Let's put the cards aside for a second. Have a really quick look at the book. See what we've got in here. About the Everyday Enchantment Tarot, some thoughts on using this deck, the cards, black and white illustrations. Let's see, I want to say acknowledgements. So we've got quite a bit of information on each of the cards, and a black and white representation of the card. That'll be interesting to read. And still cards, still cards, still cards. Doesn't look like we have any spreads or anything like that. Acknowledgements. Nope, no spreads. It's mostly about the cards. So let's have a look at the cards. And my first thought is, I hate the borders, but we'll see. I'm trying not to hate all borders all the time. The finish is definitely not Schiffer's traditional shiny, sticky finish. It is very matte. The cardstock looks really nice. I think it'll be really nice and easy to shuffle. And this is the back, which is reversible and absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like we have color-coded borders. If they're going to insist on doing a border, a color-coded border is not bad, especially when the imagery diverges. Like here we have the 4 of coins. You would not know that was, well, there are 4 coins in his hand there. But it's a little hard to tell at first sight, so I think the colored borders will be helpful in identifying the cards. Let's have a look. The Fool, and I hate to say it, but he makes me think of the Village People. I'm showing my age. The Magician. Interesting that they're looking at us as though we caught them in the middle of an act and said hello, or said, I would like to take your picture or something. The High Priestess. she looks a little strung out. The Empress. Very traditional mother. The Emperor. I like that a lot. And look, we have I see the Aries sign here. We probably find those in other places too. That one just stuck out at me. The Hierophant. I love the Lovers. All the different stages. The dog. That's so sweet. Here we have the Chariot. We've seen a guy on a skateboard before. Oh, I love it. Strength is in a wheelchair. That's fabulous. And has a dog. And the Hermit. I think I heard somebody refer to this as reminding them of the Next World Tarot, and I can definitely see that. Looks to be a softer version. But there are all these little pixie thingies or fairies of some sort all throughout this deck. And I'll have to read about that to find out what that's about. Here we have Justice. And the Hanged Man. You know, I love the matte cards. The cardstock is really nice. But you know, some of the newer decks with the matte cards, it's kind of hard to get the cards apart sometimes. That's interesting. Not quite sure what to make of that yet. Devil. Was looking to see if there was some relation between these two cards, if it was the same, maybe the same building. Could be. Hard to say. Definitely city dwellers. Sun's on the front of the box. That's a very interesting take on Judgment. It looks like he's wearing pajamas, but he's an angel, and he's calling her, and she's leaving behind her past, maybe her partying ways, things that don't serve her anymore. Oh, that's fabulous. I like that a lot. Oh, cool. The Ace of Wands. You have a blank canvas. And wands look to be sort of a burgundy color. I do have a little bit of weirdness with the cutting on that card, but that's not a big deal. Two of Wands. It's very diverse, lots of different ages and skin tones. Can't get those apart. Can you identify with that card? I can identify with that card. Page. Knight. Oh, cool. He's blind. And it looks like he's running in a race, or maybe doing one of those charity walks or races. Ace of Coins. Yep, I wonder why all these little pixies are everywhere. We've seen that one. Well, that's interesting. She just won out of the slot machine. She got lucky. But then there are people outside who are, like she's in the casino, and there's a companion with her having a beer, and there are people with their faces pressed up against the glass looking in. That's quite different in my opinion. 6 of coins. Grandpa's playing Santa Claus. That's a great page of coins. A young person taking some initiative, going out and getting an after-school job, walking people's dogs in the city. And he's detailing his car. And his kids think he's insane. Because let's face it, most of the time your kids do think you're nuts. Lots of people. And you know how I like people. Ace of Cups. Oh, I love that. 2 of Cups. That could be any kind of relationship. It might be romantic. It might be 2 old friends. It might be 2 colleagues on a coffee break. I like that. And it doesn't look like everybody has a lot of the cards have people looking out at you, but a few cards don't. Like here, the 4 of Cups. Oh. 6, tea party. Eight of Cups. Now, I'm sorry, but leaving the dirty dishes behind is not exactly what I see as the 8 of Cups. Because I leave the dirty dishes behind as often as I possibly can. So I see the 8 of Cups as leaving behind something that you've worked hard at for a while, but just you've figured out just isn't working. And so it's time to move on and move on to something else. I don't see walking away from dirty dishes as anything nearly that difficult. Unless, of course, she's just choosing to leave her home because she's had enough of it. It just isn't working for her anymore. Some of the people are a little bit funny looking. The Will Worthington's people sometimes have a bit of an awkward look to them. And a few of these people are a bit awkward looking to me as well. But nothing I can't get past, I don't think. Oh yeah, the guy singing for a supper in the subway. Queen of Cups. I love the King of Cups. Oh no. That's like somebody who's just refusing to see what's right in front of them. That's a different take on the 2 of Swords or blades. Her hands are a little bit weird looking. 3 of Swords. Yeah. Come up 4. A little family of badgers sleeping under his feet. Okay. 5 of Swords. Oh, it's time. Ice is going to crack. Well, that guy's clearly stealing something out of people's homes, which isn't always the way I see the Seven of Swords. Oh, she feels like she's stuck with that screaming baby. And the Ten of Swords. Page of Swords. Leave the hedgehog alone, man. See, just that's a weird expression. And his head has to be moving very fast for his hair to do that. I mean, there's no amount of product. Well, I imagine there is an amount of product, but it would take an awful lot of product. And she looks like, oh my God, what's he going to do to my hair? And the King. Very interesting deck. I think this one will be very readable, but will definitely have to be used in specific situations. It is big. I cannot riffle shuffle it this way. Sort of. I think it would be easier to corner shuffle. Yeah, it shuffles really nicely that way. But I do think you need the bigger cards to be able to see all the detail that she's got crammed in these cards. And you'll probably see something different every time you look. Yeah, those shuffle really nicely sideways. So let's pull a card and have a little look at the book. I don't know that I'll read the whole passage out of the book. It is 2 full pages of teeny tiny writing. But let's have an example. They are a little sticky. I might use some fanning powder on them. Well, the Fool. How about that? Let's have a look and see what it says about the Fool. Jumping for joy. And it talks about the image. A cheery man wearing a yellow hard hat and a high visibility jacket is poised at the end of a scaffolding plank on a building site. In one hand he carries a hod full of bricks, representing the traditional fool's bundle, while his other hand is open with a butterfly hovering around his fingers, signifying trust and innocence. Sharing the plank is a cat wearing a jaunty Romany neckerchief, symbolizing freedom and echoing the fool's capering dog in the Rider-Waite card. The cat has one paw raised, either asking to come along or trying to warn this man that this man's next step could be his last. He may have knocked over a tin of blue paint, but it's transformed into a flowing river, showing that fantasy is becoming reality. To further this whimsical theme, there's a white horse that appears to be flying over the fields below, and a fairy tale rainbow that seems to issue from the man as the sun bursts through the clouds, revealing his light heart and optimism. Oh, see, there's a horse with wings. And the rainbow. Okay. To the left, there's a blushing briar rose, echoing the flower in the classic image and symbolizing this fool's wild nature, purity of intent, and naivete. Above the rose, a lark ascends, a bird with the magical ability to project its unique song even as it disappears from view. A winged sprite encourages the fool to take his leap of faith, while another construction worker stares in disbelief at his impetuous workmate. So there we have that, and there's the winged sprite. There's a whole lot more too. That's just the description of the image. We then have the story. Don't be afraid. I'm not, so why should you be? Oh, it's like he's telling the story. Don't be afraid. I'm not, so why should you be? You can see me as a hopeless hapless or a ridiculous jester. I don't mind. I just smile and nod because you can't hurt my foolish pride or dampen my irrepressible spirit. Life's too short. And that goes on all the way over there. And then we have a meaning. To paraphrase the cult TV program The Prisoner, the happy-go-lucky, ingenuous fool isn't so much a number as a free man. Being 0, he's pure potentiality, rather than a straight figure carved in stone. Everything's embodied in 0's open circle as it holds the negative and the positive without committing to either. the Fool manifests afresh, unbound, untainted, without any limiting notions or self-consciousness. His principal gift is encouragement because he wants us to reconnect with our own spontaneous essence and to feel liberated as he does. And then it goes on for a while more. I would really like to know where she's from because she spells things differently than we do here in America. Is she from the UK? Is she from Australia? She lives in England. Okay, she does live in England. Yeah, I thought that was a English spelling of program. But interestingly enough, that's kind of odd that they did that, in my opinion. Usually when an American publisher is going to publish the book, the American spellings are going to be in the book. So get used to it. British spellings. Okay, so there you go. The Everyday Enchantment by Poppy Palin. Brand new from Shipper Red Feather. Gonna have some interesting... See, and... Ugh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play with it and see what it says to me. So thanks you for watching. Thank you for watching, everyone. And have a great day.